What's up, everybody? Back on the Angle of Pursuit YouTube channel. I'm your host, Kyle Robert. With me today to talk everybody's favorite subject, tight ends. It's Ben Rolfe. What's up, Ben?
Not much. Tight end always a good place to start. I feel in life, Carl. It's always the subject that everybody gets excited about, only to sigh about 3 weeks into the season every year.
So let's talk about three guys that you target, three guys that are undervalued in your opinion. And the first one may be a little bit of a shocker, but let's see where you go with it. So the first one on your list, Mr. Travis Kelce. A guy that's definitely in that, third, fourth round consideration. A guy that's probably the second tight end off the board. Talk to me about why he's undervalued for you.
Now you have to see where Travis Kelce's going in drafts on your site because it does vary site to site based on projections, all of that kind of stuff. Consensusly, he's the number two tight end off the board. I think he has every potential to actually finish with better overall numbers than Gronkowski this year because I feel fairly confident that Travis Kelce will play 16 games this year, whereas I don't ever feel confident that Gronk is ever going to give me more than 8. It's kind of my benchmark with Gronk. It's one of the reasons why I never own him. Perhaps we should have twisted this and said that I feel Gronkowski's a little bit overdrafted, but I really feel Travis Kelce can give you real standout production. The only guy I think, other than Gronk, who's going to come close to him this year is Jordan Reed. That is how I feel. And when you're talking about a guy that can put up those numbers and with less injury risk, and you're going to get it week in, week out, I feel like he is the safest man at the tight end position. If that's the way I want to build my team, I'm quite happy to spend a third round pick on Travis Kelce. I have got him later in a couple of mock drafts, and that's why I feel like he's being undervalued. So that's why you need to look at your site, look at the ADP for your site, look at the projections for whatever site you're on, and work it out from there. Don't just think going into a draft, right, on Fantasy Pros, he is going 34th overall. I must get him in the second round. That would be taking it too far. Look at it. Some guys have him ADP late fourth, even late fifth round ADPs. That's when you need to be jumping on him in those leagues where for some reason he's sliding down, whether or not it's just because of the way they're doing their rankings or whatever. Look at it, work it out, and target it based on your league.
Safety and reliability are two words that come to mind for Kelce. I think he has 90 catch upside. I think he could be the most targeted receiver or pass catcher on the Chiefs. I think that makes a ton of sense. I don't like taking tight ends early, but Kelce is one that does interest me just because of that safety, just because I know what I'm getting when I take him. The next guy on your list, Mr. Julius Thomas, making the shift, heading over to the Miami Dolphins, staying in the state of Florida. Obviously, Jake Cutler's under center. This is a guy that if you are looking, especially tight ends are so fluky and you really need those touchdowns, I think Thomas makes a lot of sense. Talk to me about your excitement for him.
Yeah, I'm really excited for him. He's a big-bodied guy. I think whoever ends up being under center there, whether it's Jay Cutler, it's Matt Moore, I don't know, maybe Ryan Tannehill ends up coming back in some bizarre twist at the end of the season. Whoever it is, I think they will target him. He's a big-bodied guy. He can be useful in the red zone. I really think he can give you good value in which you can build upon. And I mean, you can get him so late. It's such a virtual waste of a pick in the 19th overall tight end, 162. He's kind of just a gamble. He's the kind of guy that I've missed out on the top five. I haven't felt implored to go for any of that middle kind of tier, that kind of Hunter Henry tier, Delaney Walker guys. But I can gamble on Julius Thomas, maybe more in a standard league than a PPR league. I don't think he catches enough balls over the course of a season, but I think he can be an absolute red zone monster. We've seen Jay Cutler be able to sustain a tight end in periods in the past, and that's why I'm going to go with Julius Thomas. I'm going to gamble, and I'm going to see what I can get out of him.
Yeah, no, I like that call quite a bit. And the last guy is in the South as well, and it's a guy that I think I'm starting to come around a lot more on. I think he has a lot of upside, a lot of potential. We'll talk, in terms of his dynasty value. Check out the Dynasty Zone podcast. They are going through all the divisions. They're talking a lot of good stuff, and I'm sure you'll hear the name Austin Hooper a ton. But Ben, talk to me about Austin Hooper for you and kind of why you're so excited about him for this season.
Now, I'm always really excited about rookie tight ends, mainly because the tight end position is so bad that last year I was so intrigued by Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper. I think Hunter Henry is the better tight end, but Hunter Henry is going the 101st overall pick, whereas Austin Hooper is going the 148th pick. Matt Ryan has sustained a tight end in the past. We've seen Tony Gonzalez do well with him. This is an offense that's going to change a little bit. We're going to see different guys get the ball this year occasionally. It's an interesting situation. And as much as anything, I also just wanted to talk about Austin Hooper, just to remind Atlanta Falcon fans that you were 28-3 up in that Super Bowl, and Austin Hooper caught a touchdown catch, and you still lost. So I just wanted to drop that in just to make a few people cry. I actually genuinely think Austin Hooper can be a really good value for you. 16th overall tight end. It's between him and Julius Thomas for me at the end of drafts.
Yeah, no, I like Austin Hooper, especially if you're shooting for that upside. I think Julius Thomas is a guy that I'm fine with, but like I would rather start with Hooper, see if it really becomes a thing, and if it doesn't, if Matt Ryan's just targeting Julio and the running backs, and Hooper's kind of struggling, then you could fall to Julius, but. I think there's a lot of potential. I mean, Matt Waldman liked Austin Hooper over Hunter Henry, heading into the draft, and I think obviously the two guys are a lot closer than their ADP would indicate. So I think that's a great call. Ben, thanks again for joining us. Make sure you check out all of our other videos here on YouTube, as well as heading to iTunes, rate and review the podcast 5 stars. It really does do a lot to help us. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you guys later.